Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to another fun-filled episode of the Maniacs Podcast. We are live for episode, I think it's 255 now, Task. I haven't counted. But what's really cool about this episode, which is a rarity these days, is we have a guest. And not only a guest, Task, a first appearance guest.
Yep.
Task. What are we going to do with ourselves, dude?
Another cryptomaniac virgin bites the dust. We are. Do you remember how to pass out the damn badge? You're gonna have to go through your notes and figure that out.
Yeah, because Arcane sent me the instructions 5 years ago, so I kind of. So Sunseeker will get a badge at the end of the show. She'll get a badge. Welcome.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
Welcome. It's really awesome to, not only have another guest on the show, because we don't have a lot of guests these days because of my crazy schedule, but then a new guest, and especially someone that's been an active participant in this show for months and months and months. This is pretty cool. And Tass set it up, and I'm kind of again, because my life is in utter chaos, I'm gonna enjoy this. I'm gonna sit back and I'm just gonna play the questions that are coming in from the Threadcast. But Task, take it away, man.
John, what the fuck are you doing? Are you signing while you're talking? I mean, you're like this.
I'm using my hands.
Have you had too much coffee today, or were you sniffing the snow?
Dude, be better at sunset than you were at sunrise. Because Sunseeker is here. See that? See how I did that?
Well, look at you. And Bob Dylan has nothing on you. Yeah, we have a new guest from a little further south than either you or I, John. She's on the other side of the equator. And let's just get right into it. I know it's one of the questions. I'll let John handle the questions because I can't read the damn things. But I know one of the questions, and we usually ask this of new guests who come on here. How did you find crypto? When did you find it? And specifically, how did you find Hive and bring your way to our neck of the internet?
Well, hi, nice to meet you guys. I've been watching the show for a while, and I really like it. So I really wanted to be here. And well, I found about crypto. The first time I didn't actually pay attention. There were some people that came to my university talking about Bitcoin. A time where the Bitcoin was like $30, I don't know. And I didn't get into it on time because they were like, well, this is a crypto you get while mining in an illegal way. Do you want to get in? I was like, no, I don't want to do anything illegal. They were the worst advisors ever, so I didn't get into it on time. Then I heard about it again years later when I found out about our other chain, when Hive was not Hive.
The other chain. I like it. I like it. Yeah. We don't mention that. Yes, for sure.
The chain that cannot be mentioned. Well, that cannot be named. I heard about it. I joined it. I didn't like it. I did 5 posts, and that was it. But then Hive was born. So I've been in the blockchain since I don't know, 2018. But then I got back when Hive was born because I have a friend here. Her name in Hive is Irene Navarro. She is one of the most prolific authors I know. And she posts almost every day, and she does craft. So there's a very hard post to do every day. And she talked me about how the new chain worked. It was very different about the communities. So that is how I came back to Hive, and I kept my username because I pay attention when they say you have to take care of your keys so you don't lose your account. So I was able to come back again with the same username. So I heard about all of this for friends that were doing what I do now with Hive, but for the other chain. And that's how I got here. Then when I really got into like what I'm doing now, I'm participating, I'm active, I am doing all of this. It was actually like this year at the beginning because I joined one of the projects I'm working right now. It's called High Barquisimeto. That is where I work with them, and we we met in an event they did like back in December or even before, and I realized, oh, there is a lot of people here that is really working to promote Hive, not just to post in Hive. And that's how I go to where am I today. Yeah.
Yeah, John Snow is in the room, and he said that your English is great, and I agree. And would you mind giving a Mundo some English lessons so
No,
I can
let me just say
speak to
this.
that guy?
Like every time we hear this, we heard that, right? Who we heard that from, who do we hear it from? Manu. Manny in Cuba. He's like, "Oh, my English isn't that good. Freaking amazing. Like better than me." And
Well,
John's
she
saying like
never
I'm
said her
speaking
English
English like
wasn't
it's
good.
better
Yeah,
than mine. I can't
Manny
even
was.
speak English. I don't even know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Like,
Manny, we had a translator because he was worried, and we didn't need it because he was. Yeah, somebody's got to teach a Mundo English so he can, you know, so we
Well,
can talk to a Mundo. But
I think I'm gonna meet him in person with John and like a month. We're going to an event in Caracas. So we are
Mhm.
gonna be like all of the active hivers that are working for the blockchain are gonna be at that event. So we're gonna be all together soon.
Yeah. Now, my knowledge of geography in
Mhm.
Venezuela is zero.
Okay.
Now, we have a Mundo in Sucre, and John said he's about an hour from Mundo. How far are you from what's the town? Kuman? What's
Cumana.
Kumana? How far are you from what they are doing there? How far in distance where you are compared to them?
I am like 12 or 16 hours away
Oh,
from
okay,
them.
long way.
But we're going to meet in a place that is like in the middle. So they are on the east. I am all the way to the west, and Caracas is in the middle. So in the
Okay,
center.
so you're far enough where whatever they're doing is not influenced directly what you're doing. Now, what do
Yeah.
you have going on in your area? What is it that you focus upon in your neck of the woods in Venezuela? And
Mhm.
even you can extend it out into the digital world, but what are you working on? What's your focus and the path that you're taking?
Yeah. So we are in High Barquisimeto. The place is the state is Lara. City Barquisimeto. The project is called High Barquisimeto. We are pretty far away. What they do, like for the citizens, is they know nothing. So the people here only knows about us, and they know about what Sucre is doing when we explain it to them. So but the project itself, that High Barquisimeto knows about High Sucre, and we do take some things that are doing there. We have to learn and use it because the idea is that no project is doing a work that will not be like so unused. So we need to make it easier for the next person. So we do learn from what they're doing. Or what we do here is like pretty different because we are not focused right now on the business, like the one for one business, but in education. Our project is called Hive Talk. And we go to universities, we talk to them, and we create projects when like a whole dean joins Hive. So it is not that fast because, of course, the universities have like bureaucracy. You have to talk like to the one teacher, then you have to like with administrator, then the director. So it's like too many steps to get them here. But the first one we did was the is technology. How do I say this? The technology dean, the faculty. So they we go we do a first meeting where we explain to all of them what is Hive. Once they know what it is, what they can do, we create every speech for that university. So it's very different from technology than what we do for arts. Okay, so
Mhm.
it's pretty different. We also had one that is about economy, so it's pretty different what we do with every of them. Um, the thing with the technology university right now, they had it very rough because they got like their equipment stolen. So we are like back to zero with them. They are like trying to get back on their feet, but they are gonna sign every student, like this semester they are gonna sign every student through Hive. They want to create a community. They already have an account, and they're gonna use this for two things. One, they are talking about using polls on Leo to decide what they are so who are gonna be the next, um, like the school board. And they are also gonna use the community, so the students can post their job since they are technology. They are like very related to us, so they can have like a little portfolio where they can use the content they create on the university to also show it here, and maybe get in touch with people where they can find a work directly in Web3. What we want is to create professionals that are native to Web3 and native to Hive.
That makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. um, just a tangent, and probably I should have asked this before we got into what you're doing, but we had High Fest last
Mhm.
weekend, and there were a lot of presentations. What were your thoughts on it? What were some of the things that stood out to you from the presentations you were able to watch? What excited you? What interested you? What presentations uh, really captivated you and made you say, I like what's going on here? What were your thoughts on all of that?
Well, I really like it. I watch everything. I even have like the Neo and the main transmission at the same time. So it was like jumping to what I wanted to watch. I love one that I didn't expect I will like that much was Alessandra. Because I know her, but I don't know her that much as I know like Cream, Block Trace, or everyone else. Like I joined some of her spaces and that, but I didn't know that much. What she said, I think I commented here last time. She talked about we needing to be like irresistible. We need to have something that people want, and how she was on board, and we can do what the person, I think he was Shadow Myth that on board her. But the thing is, they make her fall in love with Hive, and I want like the same approach to the people we're trying to make join, because it has been like too difficult. First, because right now, like this year, like second half of the year is when we have like the apps and the means to create accounts like a very most easier way. So when we tried to onboard people before, it was very hard. We had to, so you talk about Hive, and then you have now create an account. How do I get one? Well, you have to explain like a shit ton of steps. I didn't have to do it because I did it before, but joining Hive is like crazy. There is no free accounts anymore. You have to have a VIP ticket. You have to do so many things to get an account. So I really liked what she said, and we are working here in Venezuela. Hive Creators is creating a site where you can join in a seamless way. You can create because they already have the tickets load in there, and you can get into the page and you can find information about Hive in there. So it's like we can do what she was saying, being more irresistible, being easier to onboard. I also love Crimson. Everyone on Hive loves Crimson Clad. Like everyone likes it. All Venezuela has a crush on Crimson. But they all say it. You just have to go to Twitter and you will say everybody say you have a crush on you.
I would be madly in love with Crimson, except I found out she's Canadian, and that kind of, you get any Canadian, you got to cross off the list because
Dude,
they got.
what's with the Canadian hate? Like, come on, like, what did we do? We're peaceful. We just
Oh, tell that to the Indians. You guys are not real peaceful. You guys are mean underneath. Anyway, I'm sorry to
Okay.
interrupt you, Sunseeker.
Yeah,
I
no
just had
problem.
to
It's
take a
funny.
dig at John.
It's funny. So I really love when she talks. It's about the grassroots like communities. So we're supposed to go like to the bases and they grow. So we don't have to make it that fancy. We can just explain people what we are doing, let them know, and we can grow from there. I really like when they talk about onboarding because that is what I do. Of course, I love when they talk about developments, but I do not any stuff about it. So that try to understand it, but it's not like what I'm interested in. I also like what Waveview is doing because we are trying to onboard business. So maybe not the same way because Amazon here doesn't work the same way it works outside, but it gave me the idea that something like the site we saw, like the Klinger aesthetic, we can do something similar, but working for the user base we have here in Venezuela that is pretty big, and it could. So I didn't know that that was something that was possible already. I think a lot of us didn't know what Wavy was doing. So now I know about it, and since we are trying to onboard business, we can use that as an example of what is possible. Now we are always saying if you can dream it, you can do it on high. So that's something I try to tell them. But right now I know that that is actually true because there were some too many limitations, like the smart contracts that we don't really have them. So I crossed that from what I was saying to people because I was told to say to the developers we had smart contracts, and I asked that here like months ago, and I tried to do my research about it, and I realized no, we do not have that yet. So I crossed the list. But I know that it is coming from this hyphen, so that is something that make me like really excited because I know this 2024 will be way easier for us to onboard people, or we can get like a user base that will stay because they will actually find things to stay. Not everyone likes blogging, and not everyone's like to read to those blogs. But if we have more things to do here, it would be like way better.
I really love what you said. You mentioned, how the presenter was talking about how it needs to be remarkable. And that's something, I always talk about, my history in business and stuff. And one of the books I used to read books like crazy, and everyone would ask me, what's the book you recommend the most? What's the book you recommend the most? And the book I recommended out of before any other book was Purple Cow by Seth Godin. Really short book. It's only about 140 pages long, but the big message with that book is you need to be remarkable. You need to be the purple cow. Everyone's seen a white cow, a black cow, a brown cow. They've seen all that. They've never seen a purple cow. So you have to be absolutely remarkable. So the question I got for you, and this is, not trying to put you on the spot, but what would you say, all the technical stuff aside, the smart contracts, the easier onboarding, all that stuff, what do you think as a user of Hive would make this place remarkable for more people to join and go through the learning curve to get onboarded?
Okay, so it's several things. First, all of our UIs look the same, but with different colors. I do not like that. I know users, when they come here, we see they have a Sensi, they have Pecti, they have Leo, but I would attack in Leo too. But they all look the same. They all look like too much the same. Like I don't feel that I jump from one UI to another. So the only difference is that I have like a Sensi on white and Pigdy and Leo on the dark version, and that's it. So they need to be more impressive. They need to have more images. They have like what we see with Leo on the Explore, that we have like the photos of, they will have something to see because it is pretty hard to find content you want to see. I come here, and if I didn't like join the way I did, like with a friend, I was like, I knew what to look for. if I come here like a new user, I will be lost. I do not have a place to do my search. We need better like search features because I want to find a video about cats. I need to write cat and find a video about cats or a post about cats. But right now I write the name of a user and I have to write the whole name to find it. And I find like the the fake accounts before finding the real account. So I think we need to do those process like better. We need the UIs to be like more easier, so more interesting. They have different aesthetics. I know we use open source, and so that is why they are like so similar because they have the same base. But we need them to look different, to be impressive on their own, and we also need like better searching features. Like it's pretty basic. It's not like that. Maybe it's not like the answer everybody will do, like what will make it impressive, but it already is impressive. The concept is impressive. What it has is impressive. It needs to be easier to find, easier to use. That's what I think.
Yeah, that was one of the big motivations behind Leo Infra and building that whole middleware is so we could end up getting robust search because just searching the blockchain doesn't really net very much, and so that's one of the things. Hopefully, in the next couple months, will come out of what they're doing with Leo Infra. In your area, and we know what's going on in Sucre, but in your area and in your neck of the woods, how many users are around you, or do you know in person that you have who are on Hive? Is it dozens? Is it hundreds? How many people there are involved in Hive?
I know in my city, the ones I've met in person are about like 50, 70 in my city. And there is a lot more people that I never met in person, but I just recently found out they were living like close to me. I live pretty far away. I don't even live in the city. I live like in a town back over there. They are not even house around me. I have like my grandma, my aunt, a mountain, and another mountain. So, but this
I
day,
like
there's
it. That's the
yeah.
way to live.
Can I
Yeah.
move there, get away from people? I mean, I'll be right over it.
That's why I live in the middle of nowhere. I don't
Yeah,
like
except
people.
it's cold by you. At least by her.
Okay, she's got mountains and it's nice and tropical, and I got coyotes like at my dog faces, and moose. We have moose. There's
Yeah.
that.
Well,
So
what
you don't
I-
have moose, Task.
We don't have moose by me. We got alligators though, snakes, insects.
I just have mosquitoes. So, yeah.
Yeah, we have mosquitoes. They
No.
carry cats. They're so big.
Where I live is peaceful, but there's not much. There is no like a body of water. No, it's too hot. But anyway, there are hivers around here that I didn't know about them. So it's a place that is very hard for people to get like on trends because it's like too far away. Everything that arrives here, does it like 5 years after it got everywhere else. So for me, that we have hivers around where I live is like pretty big. So I know in person like 70. We are even more. So we maybe I hear over the hundreds here in this state. And that is not counting that I know there are hivers that are not in my city. For example, Irene Navarro, my friend that onboarded me, she's in Carora, which is like 2 hours away, but it's still my state. So we are like a lot. And for users, like what we are trying to do with the onboarding, I know there is already a clinic that receives HBD. So it's a clinic, like it's pretty big. And like we are trying to create like the awareness first to make a strong user base, or users are not, so the 70 or the hundreds are not as connected as I see the team in High Sucre, because they are like more close to each other, like geographically talking about. But we are trying to create like that strength so we can create the user base so we can onboard the business like at the same time. So we can tell them, look, you have already like 100 clients that use this coin. So it's gonna be way easier when we have like the community, 200 people working together for this. Of course, my city is, as I told you, I live far away. So people really lives like really far from each other. So it's like we are trying to right now this year is that create that connection within the users.
Yeah, it's a fascinating undertaking when you have building through the digital realm versus building through the physical geographic realm, and quite frankly, you don't really need to do one or the other or a combination. It just kind of hopefully happens organically, and like you
Yeah.
said, if it's done right, then there will be lots of people in your closest city to you who are involved who you have no idea about, and that's the way it should be, because once they get attracted to some of the digital aspects, and you're right what you said about Hive Fest. One of the takeaways, and I think you were on the spaces after the presentations, but one of the days I said what really impressed me uh, was the fact that the opportunities on Hive are exploding, and it all goes back to what John and I have talked about. Your Hive account is a business. And if you treat it as a business, because the reason why it's a business is it's monetized. Whatever you're
Yeah.
doing can be monetized. And yes, not everybody's a blogger, but there's games. Not everybody's a gamer. And then you have different types of games and different types of gamers. But then what we haven't even talked about is Leo Finance and Threads. You may not be a blogger, but you can just share, a meme. You can share what's on your mind. You can, engage with people. And I'm a big believer in Hive offering micro earning opportunities. Then, as we've seen with Manny and some of these other Manufacturos, some of the others in Cuba, they're getting into infrastructure and providing infrastructure. And I think that's an opportunity. And then we see what Wavio created with these stores and these shops and this, what they call it, social shopping. There's more and more things appearing for everybody. And it's just a matter of finding what you want and laying out a roadmap to generate yourself a stream or many streams of revenue. And when you're looking at that and taking that to the collective level, how do you start to create these circular economies? I think in your country, as I've shared with the Sucre people, I mean, HBD is more valuable than gold, because what happens to the bolivar in relation to the dollar? I mean, that's just catastrophic to your economy. And here's the ability for Venezuelans to not only get into a U.S. dollar denominated asset, to do it without having to buy into it. You can earn it, you can get rewarded in it, and the other thing, it's in digital form. It's on your phone. It's on your laptop. It's you don't have to deal in physical banknotes. And so I think that's really one of the main thrusts that can help the Venezuelan people right off the bat. And then as they learn more about Hive and the ways that they can incorporate this into their activity and earn a little more, get some more coming in, maybe start to transact in things, then suddenly you have the making of that circular economy where the money's coming in from the outside. It's coming in from the digital world, from the global Hive economy, if you will, into your area, and they can be used for local goods and services.
Yeah, in fact, we are talking to a company here. They are a company that was born in my city, and they are now spread like all around the country. And they sell like phones, or everything around phones, where they also have like educational side where they teach their technicians around the country. So we're talking to them, and since the main stories here, we're going this year to start preparing the workers to know about Hive, how to use it, what are the possibilities here, how to use the coins and the tokens and all of that, so they know. And once we have like the education aspect like out of the way, we are going to start. So the project is not like a fact yet, it's not done, but it's the project is that once they know about it, they're going to start accepting the HBD as the currency on this big store. And it's huge because they are not just here, they are all around the country, and there's things we need. For example, as content creators, we need PCs, we need laptops, we need the headset, the mic. It is new, for example. I bought this for you guys. Yeah. So they have things we need. So it's gonna be awesome when they start using it, but we need to start for education, because if we onboard the company, they don't know about HBD and how it works, and they see like the people that were freaking out, this is now 1.8. It's not 1.8, it's just something that is happening. If they don't know about it and they see it and we onboard them without this information, they're gonna freak out and stop using it. So we're going strong with the education aspect, so they can then come like join for the economic aspect. So it's going to be huge. And with what Sucre is doing, which is pretty big, we have like something to show them. We already have the clinic here, so we have something to show them here too. We have a lot of users. We are creating that connection so they see that all these people are from the city, so we can onboard them here. And the company saying is it goes all around the country. We can tell them we have people here. We have organized teams on Caracas, on Valencia, Sucre, and Caracas, everywhere else. So they know they will have like the usage for the coin. And we have it like kind of easy for the fact that they already use like the USDT, the Binance, like not just them, but a lot of business, because it was like one of the solutions we had. They used to use PayPal, but PayPal is like it's awful. So it's awful. I saw the show when John was talking about it. And yeah.
Oh, I love PayPal.
These
It's
shows.
my favorite.
Wait. These shows. Are there shows that John doesn't go off on PayPal?
It's my fave.
Yeah, I know you love it.
Oh,
So,
big fan.
I mean,
Big
John
fan.
even likes MetaMask over PayPal, and he hates MetaMask, but he despises PayPal.
yeah, so they use it, and it's like, but why are you using it? First, you don't know when you can lose it all, and even with just using it, you are losing because you have to pay fees when you get it, when you send it, when they are here, and when they want to. So why do you use it? So they started using also Cell, but Cell is not legal here. Like Cell, we don't have a legal way to create accounts from Venezuela on Cell. So basically, all the business are using it. It is illegal, but they all use it. So if they are willing to use Cell that is illegal here, they are willing to use PayPal that it's their money with fees. Well, they were willing to start using Binance. They use it, they know it is pair like one-to-one. We have pretty easy to exchange from USDT to like the local currency here. So they started using it, and we can talk about it. Now, HBD is similar to the USDT because it is stable, is the same one with the dollar, and also it's yours. You have it in an account that is yours. Binance is a company like every other, like PayPal, every other like Cell. So they can like live stock operations in the country. What are you gonna do with them? You have to move them anyway to a place where they are yours. There is, if you have them in HBD on Hive, you have these users that will pay you with it, and you also can move it where So when you want, you can keep using Binance when you need it, but you also can use other exchange if you need it. You can use HBD directly if they are other business using HBD. So that's that, like the path has been made for us to have like an easier time onboarding the business.
I think the thing that's separating Hive in these instances, and I go more into Africa simply because that was an area that a lot of the faces, if you will, chose to do their tour. And Jack Dorsey, Charles Hoskinson, they all do their tours and their photo ops and saying, we are going to unbank the banked, or we're going to bank the unbanked in Africa. We're going to fix the economy there. And they
Mhm.
go and maybe do a 2 or 3 country tour, take the photo ops, leave, and that's the end of it. And that's why nothing gets done. But
Mhm.
with Hive, it's like we have people like you, we have people like Amundo, we have people like Maxam in Ghana, we have people in Nigeria, we have many people in Cuba, and they take this initiative upon themselves. You take the initiative upon yourself. It's a grassroots movement. You get
Mhm.
support, you get assistance from the outside, if you will,
Mhm.
but nobody from the outside is doing this. So in Sucre, it's the people in Sucre doing it. In your area, it's the people in your area doing it. It's Venezuelans doing it within Venezuela.
Mhm.
And I think that's the difference, because you can speak intimately. It's not somebody from the outside coming in saying, okay, these are your problems, this is what you need to do. It's
Mhm.
somebody like you going saying, I understand the problems because I've lived the problems my whole life, just like you have. I mean, I live right down the road from you, or I live, you know, 20 minutes away. And I found this to be a solution in my life, and it can be a solution in yours. And oh, by the way, if you don't believe us, go look at Kumina. They got 60 businesses and like 500 people or 300 people, whatever they have over there, and they're all doing it. And oh, by the way, then
Mhm.
if you think it's just us, this is happening in Cuba. This is happening in
Mhm.
Ghana. This is happening in different regions around the world where economies are decimated by the U.S. dollar. So
Mhm.
I think that's what really makes us stand out. And then the other thing is if you want some ADA from Cardano, you have to go buy it. You want Bitcoin, you have to go buy it. I mean,
Mhm.
if you have resources, fine, not a problem. But if you don't have resources, which most people don't in this world, what do you do? Well, with Hive, get on Leo Finance and drop a
Mhm.
thread. Say hi. You'll get an upvote if I'm around. You'll get an upvote if John's around. That puts a little bit of money 7 days later into your wallet, and that's the start. And you don't have to get 4,000 followers and 10,000 hours of viewing or any of that crap. It's like
Mhm.
if your thread or your post or your video or whatever gets an upvote and it's over the dust threshold for Hive, and there is no dust threshold for Leo, you'll get that payout 7 days
Yeah.
later, and it's in your wallet.
Yeah. If they get like one USD every day, it's already more than what we get here in a regular job. So I always talk about it because my mom earns like $30 is her salary, and then she has like another, I know, like 10 that are like bonuses, but it's less than $50. I can make way more than that, like posting. So I can post 1 week, and that's it, and I already made a salary.
So how
So
much weekly? Like what would be a average
weekly,
weekly salary
like $7
a week?
a week. So a
So
month, I can say
US $7 a week in Venezuela would be like like a living
that is like a basic wage, like
basic.
what the government pays. So of course there are companies that pay more because
Right.
that is not a livable wage. So that's people think there's something that like makes me very mad because a lot of people that does not live here, I always see this with the people that talks about what we do here in Venezuela because of course we get money from Value Plan to do a lot of projects. They think because we get So they think our salaries are $30, like, or $100 why the hires. They think the prices are low. The prices are not low. We pay for food here even more than what you pay in the US or in Canada. We just have we first we don't eat. We stop eating a lot of things because we have to eat what we can afford, which is not too much. Okay, and we have like several streams of income. Of course, I found Hive, and other people is working with other companies outside. Other people is doing like 100 jobs. Other people found people that have money and they work for them. So it's not like we find ways because Venezuelans we are like very very resourceful. So we are very resilient. That is why we can live. That is what have us here. If we weren't this resilient, we probably will have fight way sooner. We will not be at this place right now. But we endure so much that right now we cannot like jump out of it. We are like the frog that is in the water that is boiling.
Right.
It boiled. We are already in here. We cannot jump out. So, well, we live because we do all of those things, not because the wage are enough. So, a person in Hive, I do not work outside of Hive. I work on Hive. Right now, of course, I do other things on Hive. I work with video, I work with other things, so you don't see me post that much, but still, what I do is in Hive. I do not do things outside. I know people that live just from posting here, and they do it. They are not creating like shit content. They are creating great content. My friend do the crochet and the craft. She creates an awesome content. She creates tutorials. She creates things that are deep and useful. That is why she is able to live from this, because if her content were crap, she will not be getting the upvotes to begin with. So we're trying to, so that the people that is the blog, they can create good content so they can live from this. So that is why we are like too many. We are so many people from Venezuela here, because if we do it right, we can get like a living wage from Hive. Because if we work hard outside of Hive, like regular jobs here, we do not get this. So I was working in a job where I have to get up like very early. I have to pay like transportation. I have to, of course, when you work, you also need to have clothes. You cannot go to work like with like what I use at my house. So I have to buy clothes. I had to pay transportation. I also had to pay a residence because I'm too far to go to work to the city. So like it's even dangerous because I had to get up too early. It is not secure for me to go to the job at the morning because there are criminals around. So it's pretty hard to work, and yet the highest paying salary a person like in a normal job can get is like 250. So it's not like it's very few the people that get more than 250. There's people that get like 800, but that's it. You can tell me who there in Canada or in the US lives with an 800 salary. You can't. Like that is rent, I think. If it does cover something in rent. So
not here.
like a room,
$800 that
like
pays your
half
groceries for a week.
half of a room, half of a room. Well, our residence here is like 130. And I'm telling you that wages are 30. So who pays for those rooms? People who does not work for a wage here. People like me that work for the outside. So that is
Yeah,
why Hive is a big deal here.
you have to bring it in, and as I've said so many times on this show, I said it when talking to John. I said it when talking to Manu Photos, John Snow, not John Olson. Same thing with the Mundo. Same thing with you. All my years of debating people about the U.S. dollar, it's always the Americans and Europeans. I've never debated with a Venezuelan or a Cuban or a Nigerian about the merits of the U.S. dollar. And what you're saying is absolutely correct. And what these dipshits don't realize is that when you import stuff, the import is dollar denominated. And if your currency goes down in value, the bolivar goes down in value to the dollar by 20%, which actually it's the dollar's running so against everything. So it's even worse than 20%. That's a 20% hit. And that happens, 2 out of every 3 years. So it just keeps compounding and compounding, compounding. And this is why I keep saying HBD is a life raft, because now all of a sudden you're getting, like you said, you're getting a 1 or 1.5 or 2 HBD, the equivalent of $2. You don't have to worry then about the exchange to the bolivar, because you already have it in US dollar denomination. And so, yeah, I mean, that's what makes life very difficult. And I don't subscribe to that theory, because I'll tell you what, if we have 5 or 10,000 people on Hive every day from Venezuela, the value of Hive, the coin, will go up, which then means the payouts in USD terms on the conversion are worth more, because there's going to be the network effect. And that's where it all comes from. And that's why I think Hive is a lifesaver of and able to eradicate poverty in a lot of these countries. Because what happens if Hive itself, if somebody's pulling in, let's say, $1 a day in Hive, and Hive goes to $1, now they're pulling in $3 a day. So now you're at $90 a month, which, okay, it's still not great, but it's a lot better than what the government pays. Then if you don't convert it all and you do keep some of it in high power and you curate and you're able to grow it, what if at some point we get Hive to $5? And then all of a sudden you have a few thousand Hive stuck away and it's worth $5. That's how the change can take place. Then you can add your Leo to it and do something similar. And it just keeps compounding and growing. And, the first thing is people need to put food on the table. But the second thing is they need to learn these financial and educate themselves so they can start developing and building wealth. Because that's ultimately what's going to change it. It's not how much do I have coming in this month and spend everything. It's how much can I have in 3 years? And how do I still feed myself, but have a nice big pile of money in 3 years or 5 years or whatever the time frame is.
Yeah, most people here use HBD and they keep it 50-50, so they keep the HP. When we do power down, it's because we need it. So I had to do one like a year or 2 years ago, I don't remember, but I did that because I really, really needed it. It was like no food, no residence, no nothing. And it was like in between for me to find a job. I got a job. It was like the reason why I decided to be full-time on Hive was because I did find a job. It paid like $300. It was working with a company based on Miami, like this VA thing, the virtual assistant, and it helped me like practice like my English for speaking. It's not great, but it's good. I can I learned that I learned that I was able to communicate, that I didn't need like to be perfect. I just needed to get my point across, and that was it. So it helped me. But the place was awful. I realized how they were using us because we were just cheap. They didn't care like nothing about us. They paid. I got my 300 because I was working like in the administration. So the company wanted me not to be a VA to their clients, but to be like working for them. The guys that were VAs for their clients, so from people working in what is called I forgot what is this industry for realtors. They were working for realtors. Okay, they had a 200 salary and $100 bonus. And if they were like 1 minute late, they lost the bonus for the month completely. So their salaries went from 300 to 200. And we also got the police there because they were avoiding like get regular, so they were not doing anything illegal per se, but they were not like with all the documentation they needed. So the police like smelled the money and they got there. So I was at the police 2 times because of them. The first time the police told us, you can go back. They just need some documentation and they're good to go. But then other part of the police, I don't know the names, the exact names, but it's another division. They came and they told us, I do not care what they told you before. You are going again to the station. And well, for me, that was like, that's it. I do not want this. If I find opportunities that are in my country that are legal, their pay is shitty. And if I go from the companies that are international work here, they're pretty dangerous. So I could go. So this time I didn't get my name like in anything that compromised me, but I it could happen, and they could think like I'm working with something. I don't know if they are actually doing something illegal here in Venezuela or in other countries. They were companies using Venezuelans to do illegal things in Spain, for example. So I did not want to go through that again. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to be working right now on Hive, completely on Hive. What we do here, so I lived that. I had a time where I got like too many upvotes. I was like really happy because they was like the most I've been upvote all the time. And the Hive went from like point 0.5 to 4. It was like about that. I don't remember if it was the Hive or the HBD that did it. When at the time I didn't know what the HBD was exactly, so I was happy when it got like up. Then I realized, no, I want it stable. I don't want it going like to 2, 3. I want the HBD stable. The Hive can go up. It got to like 4, and I was able to buy a bunch of stuff because I did have the Hive at the time. So it was from like 0.50 to 4. So I know how it feels when you invested like too little and then you have this much from Hive. And I know this could happen in the future again. And maybe this time will not be like a random pump, but it will be like something more stable. Like the Hive will actually be worth that, recognizing the market that is worth it, and it will be more stable. So we do that here. We save the HP. We say we are not like draining the blockchain, like people say. So all Venezuelan, Cubans, and Nigerians, we do not bet a whale. So we can like drain our accounts. I will do nothing right now because we are not that many taking the money out. We are keeping it. When we use HBD, we exchange like 5 because we know we need to keep the HBD. If I exchange the HBD, all what I get to bolivars, it will just devaluate like in 5 days. So why would I do that? I just take what I need. And all Venezuelans do it, all Cubans do it, all Nigerians do it. So those people that do not get it is because they do not live here. They are like thinking on their little spaces where these coins are something just to hold. But I always think about it. How did crypto start getting like the value? When someone used Bitcoin to buy something. If you have the coins like sitting in their wallet, okay, they're gonna get in value inside the blockchain, but outside it will not have any value. So why do I want coins that it cannot use? So it makes no sense. Of course, we do not want people draining like all the HP or all of that. But if you have a coin that is meant to be usable, why we have to take that too? So do not make it like possible to take it 50-50, make all of the HP if you are so worried about it. So the idea is we have to stake, have to use. Some people use it on the chain. Some people do exchange to other coins. Some people buys the HBD. That is why I can sell it because people is buying it. So maybe it moves from my hands, but other people want it. They are going to buy it. Crimson told it. We have a problem that people is not selling enough HBD because people is holding to it. So there is not enough liquidity. When she talked about it, I was saying like, okay, we actually need to be moving it. What do we need? More people, like knowing all of this. People that can buy it from the people here that is selling because I need to, so I change to HBD to hide and high. I need to move it around. It will keep growing because if I sell and I put it on Binance, then other people will come and buy it from Binance and get it back to the chains. So it's a market that we need to keep it moving. So us stopping using the HBD will not make high growth, and we using it will also not make high growth unless we are a lot. And as you said, if we are a lot of people using Hive, it will grow on value. I will not need to take like $4, like for HBD. I will use Hive. They will be valued at like 5 or even 10 someday. So I will need to take out like only two, because I only need $20. So if it goes up in value, I need to use it less outside in my country. So it is very complicated because they are thinking in their prices and in how things move outside. We hear, so I told you with the Leo glossary, we don't even have terms that apply to Venezuela. So they wrote IRA and that stuff. We don't even have that here. So our economies cannot be measured with the knowledge people have in the US, in Canada, or in Europe. So.
Yeah, well, a lot of it goes that they don't understand currency anyway. They think it's financial engineering, and really what gives value to a currency, and I've written extensively about this, what's going to give value to HBD is not the backing, it's the economic productivity tied to HBD. And so as merchants start to utilize this as a medium of exchange, and as the money transfers back and forth for commercial and financial transactions, and then you can use it for investing, you can use it for funding of projects and all that other stuff. That's what gives it the value. And most people don't seem to understand that. John, you want to go through the Threadcast? Are there any questions? I mean, I know we got a lot of general questions, which we'll hold them over till Tuesday.
Right. I'll get the ones directly for Sunseeker.
For Sunseeker.
Okay. So the first one was I think you answered it right away, because there's actually quite a few. But Tokenized Society, friend of the show,
He's
wanted
drunk,
to know.
I bet.
Yeah, wanted to know how she found Hive, which she went over. So that was good. Let me scroll here. John Timms. This is we'll do the funny one that he left first, and then the serious question. A question for Sunseeker: when Leo rebrand? When ad revenue report? Hope Cal is listening. So,
well, no, I have something to say about it.
Oh, okay, okay.
No,
I thought it. Okay.
I can. It's funny. I cannot talk about it because it is trademark. It is soon TM.
Oh, okay. See, there you go, John. You got your answer. Perfect. But he did try to be serious here. He said, "Is the Hivers a Latin population decreasing? Is it static, or is it increasing in your view?" So I would say, overall, Venezuela, Cuba, like what would you say? Do you think it's growing? Do you think it's shrinking? Do you think it's kind of the same? What would you say?
Well, since all the people I knew when I started, they are still here. So it is, at least we're keeping them. Okay. It is growing because we have a lot of new users. If this grow will stay, I don't know yet, because they are too new. So those onboarding process are like from this year. So we are in the process of teaching them, like guiding them to Hive, because here we have to take into account there is a language barrier. There is not many like people like me, John, other people that actually understand English. So most people use translators. So we are like the ones taking the information from the English side to the Spanish side. So these people that are getting in are going like against that language barrier. So it is growing. It is, I think, growing. The way I'm pronouncing it is another word, but growing. Okay.
Correct.
They, yeah.
Yeah, that works. Growing works. Yeah.
It's funny because I know the words. I know when they sound incorrect, but I cannot correct the pronunciation right away. So it's pretty. They sound funny to me. So. So their growth is increasing the amount of users. The quality is also increasing because there are many projects that onboard with education, like Hive from Zero, Hive desde cero. It's a project that is run by a user called Soy La Loreto, is the username. and it's pretty big. My mom got on board from her. So I did not teach my mom.
Mm.
I brought her to the project that was doing the onboarding. They taught her about Hive and how to use it. So yeah, that's the answer. It's growing and it's being like more educated, and that will make it grow more steady, and we are gonna keep those users because there was a growth before, but that growth was like based on the same speech they gave me when it was the other change, that it was you're gonna blog and you're gonna get paid. That was it. So people
Right.
that that got on board with that speech, they already left. So the people that is now coming are the people that did understand it correctly. They are here. So when it changed from Steam to Hive, they stay. So that is the user base that is stable. They are not going anywhere. And the
Right.
ones that are coming are being educated based on those users. So we are like growing a lot. I have a lot of friends coming in. They are the first I brought here. They did not stay for longer, but the next I brought was when I was working with onboarding. So the first ones I brought here were like, I'm doing this, come here. But I didn't understand what was I doing. I was just creating posts. Now that I educated myself on how to onboard people, I'm bringing people that stay in the blockchain. Yeah.
Nice. You actually touched on it, but this is from Alvia Rez. Wants to know, what do you think of the quality of the content being produced by the Hispanic community within Hive? How do you feel is the quality?
I am divided because I know there is people creating awesome content, but I'm also a bit disappointed with some people because I know there are users that are not doing the job. They are doing the bare minimum. They are not showing up when we need them. So I know there is people that is like that. They are not the majority, but I'm disappointed at those people. But the majority of the community creates good content. Some of them are not as prolific because we have like life to worry about. Not all people have the time to create blogs, to educate themselves, to create better blogs. The language barrier is like very difficult. I see, for example, the Nigerians. They have it hard in their country, but to join Hive is easier because the language they have it. But for the Spanish community, we need to get over that barrier. So when we write, we have to use translator. People think we are using AI. People think we are not writing the content. So it sounds like it's not human, or it gets a lot of grammar errors. So it makes it really hard for the Hispanic community. So the content most users create from the Hispanic community is awesome. We are also working a lot on the outside of the blog. So we are the people that work in development. I don't know, if you saw in the High Fest, you will see that a lot of the people working with Keychain, working with all those projects are Hispanics. So the Hispanic community is like everywhere in development, creating content. The content is good. Not everyone, I know that. We are trying to educate us, but it's like getting better. We're getting better, and I can tell because also the Cubans also right now have like projects to educate people that they are onboarding. So the new users are not as naive as the ones that are like joined in the last year. So it's going to get better. Like for the next year, I think we are going to have even like serious writers from the Hispanic community like working here because as
It's like, to me, I hear this, and like, I don't know about you, Tass, but I hear things like this, and this just gets me so fired up. Like, just like it's another level for me to hear, and I'm reading the comments and threads, and people are saying like this Hive truly is changing lives. And I'm not trying to get too warm and fuzzy here and all of that, because yeah, we all got bills to pay. We all got, but when I hear things like that, like it's literally changing people's lives, like my little tiny upvote, my 100% upvote is worth 50 cents worth of Hive. 50 cents worth of Hive if I'm reading this correctly, what you're telling me, that's a pretty good, like, thanks
Half a
very
day's
much.
salary.
That's insane to me. Like, that to me blows my mind and gets me more and more excited. So what I want to do, and look, I'm not a whale by any stretch. I'm an idiot. I don't know
You're
what I'm
just
doing.
built like one.
Oh, I'm just built. Yeah, I'm built like a whale. Yeah, exactly. But what curation projects do you know of right now that I could send like 1,000 hive power to that will help people? Because you're talking about your English. You should hear my Spanish. Okay, I know my
Master
Spanish.
Curation Trail.
Dude, my Spanish is from Dora the Explorer. That's like that. Vámonos. That's it. That's
Dude,
all
I
know.
got the
Right.
Spanish covered. You just take care of the French. So when Hou comes on, you can
Yeah, the French I
understand
got.
him.
Well, he's in Canada now, so he's one of us.
Yeah,
But
but he still speaks with a French accent, doesn't he?
yeah, I know. Well, he's French, like from France, right?
Yeah,
So,
you can handle him in Archange.
perfect. Yeah.
I had a
I would
conversation with
love to know, like,
Archange on Spaces. It's like, oh man, the French accent, you're killing me.
I love it. See. I understood that. I can deal with that. I can deal with.
I can understand the Spanish accent, but the French is tough.
Yeah, thank you, Eliana said she'd try to teach me Portuguese. Just bacalhau. That's all I know because it's really good saltfish. Anyway,
Yeah,
sorry.
just hook her up with tokenized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Portuguese. Yeah, it's Brazilian, right? Yeah.
No, I was telling something about the English. Maybe a lot of the Latinos, we do not like speak a lot. So a lot of people do not speak. They think they can't speak, but they just have to like do it, and you will speak. But we do understand a lot of accents. I was watching a show, and there was an Australian, an Aussie, and British, Canadian, and American, and they did not understand each other. But I was following everything like just fine. So I can understand. And when a foreign people talks in English with their accent, if it's Russian, French, Italian, I understand it better than I understand Americans. So
you get somebody from Boston and somebody from Louisiana together and listen to them talk, and you think they were speaking a different languages.
What I do not understand is like Scottish stuff like that from the British.
They're guys in dresses, so I mean it's.
I don't know.
Where's Raymond? Oh,
Raymond, yeah. Run around in their skirts, commando.
I would love to know. I would love to know your opinion of a really good like curation project that deals specifically with, because I send some. I think it's I think it's Eddie who runs it. Mm-hmm. It might be Eddie. I'm pretty sure it's Eddie.
Aliento?
Yeah, I think it's Aliento. So I'm already in that. But anything that I would love, because that got me so fired up with like.
Why don't you delegate to Hive Cuba? Because Hive Cuba, Manny goes and upvotes a lot of the Spanish content. I don't know if it's Manny, but whoever runs it.
Yeah.
I am. Eliento and Hive Cuba. I'm already delegating.
Yeah, I work.
If you want, I mean, it's if you want.
I also work with another project. Hispa Pro. They want that I got it to vote as a witness like a few months ago. Yeah, I work with them. It's a curation project. It does not have a community. It creates like events, contests. They create content. They do a lot, but not as a community, but just directly as a project from curation, from the Hispanic community. And it's not like bounded to a country. It's Hispanic community. So
just send it to me, because
John,
sorry, go task. Sorry,
vote on Threads. They're all over the place. You can get money going into Cuba. You can get it going in Venezuela.
That's what I'm saying. If
Nigeria,
she throws it out on
because
Threads,
they're all on there.
If she throws it on Threads, then I can see it and I can get the name and I can delegate, and we kill two birds with one stone task. No?
Yeah, but then you don't have the voting power for the other people on Threads you're voting.
I'm voting. That's Leo. I'm voting Threads with Leo.
You also vote with HP.
I know, but I'm trying to be nice, man. I'm trying to like spread the love, dude. Like, I'm all fired up
Any
now.
more questions for her?
No, we got a lot of questions we can use on Tuesday. Plenty of stuff because lots of people ask great questions, but specifically for Sunseeker,
Yeah, for
I want to make sure.
Sunseeker.
Yeah. So no, that's fantastic. I'm so fired up. I hear things like this, and it's just like I feel like literally screaming at people that aren't on Hive yet. Like, what are you doing? Do you see what this blockchain can do? Like, you're an idiot. You're not here. You're an idiot. Shut up, crypto.com. Shut up, PayPal. Shut up, Binance. You all suck.
Well, hey, John, you're bringing up a good point with your rant.
Yeah.
How does Bitcoin solve this for the Venezuelans? It does.
Bitcoin's the future. Listen to the maxis.
How does Ethereum solve this for the Venezuelans? Again, it all comes down to the distribution. How do you feed it in there? If they need to buy it, it's a non-starter. And what do you have to do in 99% of the instances with crypto? You have to buy in. Or you go and do faucets and stupid shit like that. But with Hive, you literally, I mean, if you want to do the faucet route, just go to Leo Threads and just thread, because then you'll be micro earning and you'll get a little bit here, a little bit there. And like you said, there's some people out there, earning, 50, 75 cents a day off Leo, off Threads. Between the Leo payout and the HBD payout, because they're comments, so they get paid out at HBD. And I know there's times I've had conversations with somebody. I'll give them 20 upvotes in at 5% in 30 minutes, because we'll just go back and forth. It's like I'll just upvote them, and it's worth, I don't know, probably 5-7 cents a piece, maybe each upvote, but you get 20 upvotes. All of a sudden, that's $1.40. And that's the difference. That's why I keep telling people. John and I years ago, John liked what I said when he asked me a question one day. He said, "Tess, when people bitch about not having success on Hive, what do you tell them? Go make 500 comments and come back and talk to me.
Come back in the morning after 500 comments.
And it's the same thing with threads. Go make 1,000 threads. You'll end up getting some upvotes. I mean, Cal will come by and see you. One Alpha will see you. John Go will see you. I'll see you. I mean, there's a lot of people on there who will run through and upvote you. And I mean, to me, that's a fantastic starting point, especially when you're talking about the bar being set so low financially. And what I mean by that is where 50 cents or $1 makes a difference. It's an impact.
Yeah.
And so that's a great place to start. And it's a great place to get recognized, because, I mean, I use Wealth West as an example. I didn't know who the hell he was. I mean, he's a Nigerian dude. I have no idea who he was. He's posting all the time about this EPL shit. Him and Sagri are going back and forth about this EPL shit. English Premier League, that's soccer to us Americans, football to the rest of the world.
For the rest of the world, yes.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I go see his posts now. I go and read his posts, and most of the time I'll give him a decent upvote on it, because he writes good stuff. I wouldn't have seen him if it wasn't for Threads, but he was just around all the time.
Yeah, and the last campaign was the time when I joined, because this was a change of events. I joined Hive Barquisimeto because I went to the first event they made. I was just cutting stickers. So they were looking for volunteers to go do the job, because at the time they were not getting funded. So they did the job because they wanted. So before I joined the team, so I got with them. Then the project Hispa Pro, one of the members of Hive Barquisimeto is the founder of Hispa Pro. So he called me and I joined that team. When I was talking with them, being where they were working, joining the community where I found the silly one. There was alive. I think it was Eric there, and they talk about the silly campaign, and I say like, what the hell, I'm gonna do this. And I joined because I wanted to participate in something, but I never thought I will like have a real chance. I ended up like in the fourth place. I was like, and it was just because I didn't think at the beginning I was able to do the influencer quest, so I didn't. But then I did like two of them in today, so I could have been able to be the number one if I trust myself back then. With that campaign, I joined Threads. I knew about Leo like more deeply because I was like everybody else. Like we like Leo Finance. I don't know shit about finance. So what am I doing here? I learned more when I joined that campaign. I started talking to Task. We've been having fun on Threads in the campaign, like talking nonsense, and then talking about more serious things. Like if it weren't for Threads, I probably would never like have those conversations because I was not like reading the same kind of content that you were creating, or even if I read that, I like so the kind of comments you leave in a post, I like too serious, that you don't have the moment for conversation. And I, with Threads, I had that. A lot of people know me now. They know me, and it's pretty funny because if you see my blog, I am not that active posting. When I do like good posts. I care about the format, about the content, about explaining, making it bilingual so everybody can read it. But I'm not that active. It was on Thread that those people got to know me. I know like a crypto geek from Cuba because we were like working together as Hispanics to be like in the top of the campaign. I met like Sam because he was other one like working there. So I met a lot of people on Threads that I will never know from the blogs, because in blogging is not, even when the people connect, you need to have like very similar interests to like have that connection. While in Threads you can just talk to people because you have like, they wrote about art, I'm gonna comment on that because it's pretty short, I can digest that. They talk about a coin, I know nothing about it, but I want to learn, so I can ask. If they drop a link to a news, I can like go follow it. So Threads really was a game changer for me, and this year was for me like huge. So I did that campaign and got like, I'm here right now because of the campaign. Because if without Threads, I will not know you, and will not be like listening to the shows, because I started listening them with the campaign, but I stayed even when it was not a quest. I was here anyway because I like it. Same with the Critaholics, same with the other shows. I started participating with other communities. I learned so much that I'm able to talk about Hive right now. So I'm a speaker. I was a speaker already in two events. I went to Colombia. To Colombia is funny. I went because I wanted. I went because I was not paid to go there. So they helped me with the ticket for the event, and they helped me with the Airbnb because they were paying for the speakers. But I paid for my travels. I traveled like 2 days going there, 2 days coming back, just because I wanted to be there to learn, to give what I have already learned here in Venezuela about onboarding to the people that is starting in Colombia. So I went there. That gave me more connections, and now I'm going to be a speaker at the Caracas Blockchain Week. That is a massive event. It's like the biggest one of the crypto world here in Venezuela. So from just volunteering to cut some stickers to now being a speaker at one massive event, and that is like less than a year here in Ohio.
John, what do we talk about all the time? Just get involved,
Dude,
get active,
I'm
get
dying
busy,
here.
do stuff, and see where it takes you.
I'm dying.
She's a prime example. And we have, of the people
Killing me.
we've talked about or come across in the last 254 and a half episodes or whatever we've had, there's only like 4 people who like actually took that to heart, and she's one of them. It's like, just dive in, get busy. And I mean, I don't know where this will take you. She didn't know where it was going to take her, but it's already taken her to, some pretty incredible heights.
I'm blown away. I mean, I'm almost angry with how like I hear things like this, and it making me very angry knowing that the rest of the world isn't here yet.
Well,
Like,
but John, it doesn't.
And I get it.
matter.
I know.
If the rest of the world was here, after 20 years of business, that only 5% are going to do shit anyway.
Just like she mentioned earlier, the first people she introduced, they're not here anymore because there's a bigger picture, right? And that's really what Hive represents. It's the bigger picture. But what you said today kind of has sparked something, and I appreciate it. This is good. It's not a bad thing. But I'm literally writing down ideas. First thing is I need to learn Spanish because you and John put me to shame with your knowledge of English compared to my knowledge of
but
Spanish.
Django, remember, you got to master the Bollinger Bands first.
Sorry, I got to learn MetaMask and Bollinger Bands and RSI lines. Is that it? That's what they're called.
If you want to use the Bollinger Bands, you can forego the RSI.
Okay, perfect. No, this has been fantastic. This is like it's so fired up for me to hear things like this and then see everything and see the people that is actually helping. It's actually doing something for. Like, I'm sitting here whining and complaining, like, oh, this, that, and the third. Meanwhile, with my little tiny vote, I can really help someone. To me, that's mind blowing. To me, So sorry, I'm kind of in a moment here. I'll just mute myself, Task, if you want to.
Well, I think this was a great show. I think she exemplifies, and Sunseeker, we're really not here blowing smoke up your hind end. Well, I guess we are, but we're not doing it for that purpose. You exemplify what John and I have talked about for 2.5 years on this show or whatever. It's been going on 3. It's an opportunity. And unfortunately, most people don't take advantage of opportunity. In the developed world, in the developing world, they just sit there and whine and complain and say, this is too hard, or, they want to focus on all the bullshit. And it's like, success comes from overcoming the obstacles and succeeding in spite of what's in the way. It's not an easy path for anybody, but you just show up each day, you take action, and you see where it goes. And at the same time, the great thing here is, as I'm doing this, as you're doing this, as John's doing this, as anybody's doing all this stuff, the entire ecosystem is also morphing and evolving and growing and expanding. So what does that mean for each of us in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? We don't know, but by putting in the effort now, it's certainly going to take us somewhere, and we'll be able to ride whatever waves Hive delivers, and we can just be on the surfboard on the top riding that wave. You like that analogy, John? That's a tropics analogy. Surfing, that's something you do in the sunshine, in the warm.
I know.
Although they get out there in the wetsuits in the wintertime.
We do, dude. We hunt moose. Sunseeker, thank you very much for hanging out with us and adding so much value to the blockchain with everything that you guys are doing down there. You and John and Manny and Mundo and all these guys and gals now that we've had on this show that are actually living and breathing and dying this stuff. We appreciate it. And thank you.
Can I say one more thing?
I'm sorry. Yes, sir. Please do. Yeah.
I'll go the other direction, since you paid all the compliments to the Southern Hemisphere.
Yes.
Because he said he listened in the morning. Bradley Arrow. We're thinking of you.
Yes.
We know Bradley needs a little push, and he likes hearing his name on air. So
on air.
Bradley, hope you're sleeping well.
He needs to be a guest too. We got to have him on too. He will die if we have him on. So we'll definitely move on.
I don't know if he could handle it. You were a wonderful guest, and I hope John does send you that badge. It may take him a week or two to figure
No,
it
I'll
out.
get it. I'm home now. I don't have a job, so I'm kind of sitting here until I get employed again. So yeah.
I've been that way for over 4 years, so I identify.
Well, guys, like, thank you for having me. I really like to talk. I saw Jon Snow saying that I talk more than Taskmaster.
Good, isn't it?
I do have an announcement. This is serious stuff. Pay attention. I am tomorrow, 1:00 Eastern time. So you all do the math what it is. I haven't said this out loud. I was going to put it out on X tomorrow and put it on Threads. At 1:00, I will be doing a Spaces called This Week in Hive. This is a extension of the 12 hours that we did pre and post Hive Fest and all that. But basically what it is it's just a show. I mean, I don't plan my videos. I don't plan my posts. So I'm certainly not planning the show. But we'll just start a space and talk about Hive. I know that's a novel idea, John, but a little outreach. And I'll talk till somebody else wants to come on air and talk on Spaces and all that good stuff. So I'm hoping to do this weekly, but it's early enough in the day. We'll also have a Threadcast at the same time. Let's fill up the Threadcast, except for you, Sunseeker, because whenever you try to hit me up on Spaces, I never see you. So I'll probably ignore you again there too. But if I ignore you enough, we bring you on air here. So that's the reason why I brought her on, John. I ignored her for like the whole weekend on Spaces. trying to get on, you never accepted me. I'm like, I didn't see it.
Jon Snow were talking about the Caracas Blockchain Week and the High Barquisimeto, and that's why, like, I am from Barquisimeto. I am one of the organizers from the participation of High on the Caracas Blockchain Week. I can talk about it myself. I did this, but he didn't see that. But it works for me because he had me here, and I have an hour and a half for just me to talk. So I like it.
Keyword, John, did you get a keyword from Eric?
No one about keyword. Is that why everyone's here for the keyword?
Probably.
What keyword? What keyword?
Dude, I ain't got no keyword.
I will. Sunseeker, I'll make up the keyword. Well, let's do this, John. The keyword is Venezuela.
Venezuela. Okay.
Venezuela.
So Eric, Nifty, if you're watching.
Well, I'll DM Eric after the show and tell him that it's Venezuela. So the keyword is Venezuela. And for those of you who aren't in Venezuela, you better spell it right. So look it up because I think spelling's important with those keyword thingies.
You guys.
And if you're in Venezuela and you spell it wrong, you deserve to be kicked out of Venezuela anyway.
Later, guys.
See, that's why I like living in the U.S. It's easy. U.S. You can't get it wrong.